I'm going to show you how I plan to cultivate a grit mindset for 2023, which is one of my focus statements. You can check out what that means here. And I'm going to show you how getting high in the past has held me back from reaching my goals and how I've been able to overcome it. So let's get into it. Now, I looked it up. So the definition of grit is courage, strength of character, firmness of mind, or of spirit. Now, it's when you keep going and you don't give up, in other words. When things are tough, you will keep doing the thing that is hard. That is grit. It's when you have a long-term goal that you're working towards and you're not going to just let some short-term failures stop you from getting there. Let me tell you a story of when I was in high school. So when I was in high school, I always wanted to be a musician. Now, I immigrated to America from India and my parents didn't have a lot of money. And when I wanted to be a musician, I couldn't afford private lessons and my parents couldn't get those for me. So I had no formal training in music, but I had this dream of being a drummer, of being the best drummer that I could be. So because my parents couldn't afford this, I wasn't really able to read music. All I was getting good at was I could hear, I could watch, and I would be able to play it back. And I would, by watching people, either it was on the videos on the internet that I found or by watching other people play, I was able to learn. And over time, I just kept believing that I was going to get better because I practiced and I practiced and I drummed on every surface in the friggin' house, got in trouble for like denting up shit because that's all I wanted to do is play drums all the time. And lo and behold, at some point, I made it to the top of that thing that I wanted so badly by becoming first chair, by even becoming drum captain and leading the entire band into several championship wins. And I was able to just use my grit mindset at that age when I was in high school, when I was not really doing well in anything else that I was interested in. And this was the one thing that I wanted, is you have to have a singular focus and believe that you will get there no matter what. Now, let me tell you another story about when I was in college, is I also wanted to be a bodybuilder in college. So I'm a short guy and I got into bodybuilding largely because I was sick and tired of being bullied and I wanted to prove to myself and others that I could make something of myself. I wanted to become a man. I was tired of being a kid. I was tired of just being the way I am, the way I looked, and I wanted to prove to myself that I can become a man. And bodybuilding was one of the things that was going to get me there. I truly believe that. I didn't have a lot of support, at first. People even told me that you will never win, you will never place, you're not going to get anywhere with it, but I didn't give a shit. I kept going. Those same people I saw every single day in the gym and they weren't getting any better. Meanwhile, I was getting better because I believed in myself, I focused, I put my mind into the muscle, and I grinded. And guess what? After a short few years of training, I stepped up and actually won my first competition, which took about 6 losses to get there. But I finally got there. That was my goal, right? It wasn't to like become Mr. Olympia or anything, but it was just to prove to myself that I can get to the finish line of the goal that I've set for myself by just working my ass off and not stopping, doing unreasonable amount of work where it just would be impossible for me to fail and I would get to my goal. Now, let me tell you another story about how grit has helped me in business. Now, when I finished my degree in computer science in college, I was not passionate about going to become an engineer. I certainly was passionate about technology, but I knew that that wasn't going to be my gift. It's not my true calling. But I had to start there, and I knew it was going to suck, and it did, and I hated it. I did it for a few years. I got super stressed. I wasn't able to work out like I wanted to because I was so stressed, working all day long, commuting back and forth, not really having a good time of my life, really. It was probably the darkest time in my life because I was really stuck in a position, didn't know where I would go next, and I just felt like I just did this degree and I'm a failure. I had so much imposter syndrome at the time. I didn't know where to go. But after going through a lot of shitty situations, and thank God I found someone who was able to guide me, I basically learned that I need to go and maximize on my strength. All I had to do was work hard enough at it that I would get there. Now I manage a portfolio of companies that generate over $20 million a year in terms of recurring revenue for the company that I work with. So I'm a businessman. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not trying to say that I'm like some killer entrepreneur guy like Gary Vee or something like that. No, I'm actually in business. I conduct business, I regulate it, and I use my strengths to get there. Now, I'm just telling you the story. It's a short, condensed version of it because there was a time in my life where I was completely lost. I had no idea where I would go next, and I felt stuck, but I didn't give up. I kept looking for a way out. I kept talking to people, and I kept looking at who's doing what and how are they able to do that. And I just bridged the gaps. Okay, here are the things that I need to be able to do that type of work. And then my uniqueness still brings to the table something that those people didn't have. So today in the industry that I'm at, with the tech industry, I'm actually one of the highest paid individuals in the field that I work in. So that's really, really nice. It eventually did pay off for me. And of course I have a lot more upside because I'm actually learning so much more this way than I ever would have just being an engineer. about conducting business. So as you can see, setting long-term goals has been my key to success. Okay, that is how grit works. It works for small things here and there, but really to have true grit mindset, you have to apply it to your goals day in and day out. And these would be your long-term goals, your big goals, right? Now they can be something as simple as learning a new skill, but like actually learning it, trying to master it, right? Or it could be as simple as saving up enough money to buy the car that you need to save up for the trip that you want to give or take with your family. The important thing is to have something to work towards and to break it down into smaller and achievable steps, because you want this big goal. You're not just going to magically get there one day. You have to break it down into daily actions, things that you can do today in this hour to move yourself closer towards that goal. That's what a grit mindset is about. So now I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how getting high has actually held me back. Now it's natural to want to escape the negative emotions when I feel stressed, when you're not getting the thing that you're after, when it's not really looking bright for you. But relying on these substances can always make things worse. Getting high can actually interfere with your ability to focus. There's no doubt about that. I don't really care if you say it makes you more productive. You're not going to outwork me being high. Like, I can guarantee you that. I know I'm the most productive stoner in the world, first and foremost, for myself. But even me, I'm telling you right now, admit it to your face, that it does affect your ability to focus, for sure. There's no doubt about it. It can also have negative effects on your physical and mental health, because let's face it, when you're high, you get that fuck it attitude. You might say, fuck it, I don't have to go to the gym. Fuck it, I don't want to eat this. Let's order pizza instead. And over time, that's going to affect your health. You might be able to work longer because you're not spending time in the gym or taking care of your health by cooking your food and all that stuff. But in the long term, it's going to hurt your health really, really bad. Learn it from me, because I used to cope with my problems, and it just made things worse. I just wasn't really admitting it to myself, but the reality is that's what happened. This is the real habit. I'm going to keep it super fucking real with you guys. It also damaged my relationships. It hurt my performance, and it even made me have health problems. And again, I'm not blaming weed on any of this, guys. Just so you know, I still love weed. I'm just talking about the effects of abusing a substance and using it in the wrong context, where I'm using it to only help me fix or get away from my problems, rather than getting to the root of my negative emotions and understanding why the fuck they're coming up in the first place. And it wasn't until I stopped relying on substances like weed and other things where I actually started to face what my challenges were, and I was able to actually move further and further along towards my long-term goals and make significant progress. If you're feeling down or you're stuck, don't turn to getting high to be your escape. Try something new. Set a goal for yourself. Take super small steps towards achieving that goal instead of not trying at all. Like, I'm so determined to cultivate this grit mindset for 2023 that I want you guys to come along with me for the journey. If you need someone to hold you accountable, come into the comment sections, get into the Discord, tell me what you're up to, and then check in, because we're posting videos every freaking day, every freaking week for the rest of this year, and you're gonna see grit in action. That's my promise to all of you. So I hope you'll follow me along in this journey. And for more tips and guidance on developing a resilient and determined mindset, make sure you check out my YouTube, my TikTok, the Rumble, the Instagram, the Twitter. We're posting everything daily. Thank you so much for watching.